Morning everybody, welcome back to Hooks and Crosses Boxing. I hope you're all doing well. So last night Nick Ball retained his WBA Featherweight title, 10th round TKO of TJ Doheny. This was quite an entertaining fight. I'm always entertained by Nick Ball. I enjoy watching his fights. This fight was pretty one-sided for the majority of it, as long as it lasted. Doheny had his moments. In the first 3 rounds, he was actually using, because obviously he's the taller and had the longer reach of the two fighters. Because obviously Nick Ball's only about 5'2", so he's a very, very small guy. Excuse me. And so yeah, he uses his aggression in all his fights, to kind of make up for his height and lack of reach at times. But Doheny was keeping him at bay. He was working nicely with the southpaw jab. In the third, he actually caught Ball with a fantastic straight left down the middle, which snapped Ball's head right back. But after about the 4th round, it all became very one-sided, and Nick Ball was just absolutely annihilating him on the inside. He was battering him all over the ring. But going back, though, at the end of the 1st round, there's a little bit of controversy there. After the bell had gone to end the 1st round, TJ Doheny had Nick Ball in a headlock and he wouldn't let go. They were standing in the corner and he just wouldn't let go. So when he finally did get out, his head out from under Doheny's arm, Nick Ball threw a kick which connected with Doheny's legs. And Doheny went down, threw himself on the floor like he'd been shot by a sniper. And I thought, oh, this could be a bit dodgy. He could get disqualified for this. Now, obviously, the replays showed that it was a nothing kick. It didn't do any real damage. I know Doheny sold it like he'd been shot, but, it was a nothing pity-patter, stupid little kick that didn't do anything. It wasn't particularly hard, but that's not the point. The fact that he threw a kick in a boxing match, that's a no-no for me. Do I think he should have been disqualified? No. Do I think he could have been disqualified? Absolutely. Depending on the referee, something like that, it's a no-no, absolute no-no. Throwing a kick in a boxing match, whether it was hard or not, it was an intentional move. Yes, he was being held in a headlock, but it was kind of like, I don't know, man. It didn't sit right with me at all. If I was the referee, I wouldn't have disqualified him. I'd probably taken a point off, definitely. He was frustrated. Now I find this with Nick Ball. Now it's a criticism I have of him. I find him quite a bad-tempered fighter now. Which, okay, boxing is a combat sport. It's one of those things. But he gets very frustrated very quickly, as we saw in his fight with Ray Vargas last year, when he challenged Vargas unsuccessfully for the WBC Featherweight title. And that was a real messy fight, a lot of roughhousing. There was a lot of roughhousing in this one. I mean, in the 9th, Ball had a point taken off for roughhousing and pushing Doheny down. He'd done it a couple of times in the fight. So I think that's something he needs to get under control, because if he loses his temper against the wrong person, he'll either get himself disqualified, or he'll walk into something, because he's a very aggressive fighter, and he does steam forward rather a lot. And I can see him, because they're on about pairing him with Inoue later this year. I personally don't think that's a good fight for Ball. Personally, it'll be entertaining, but I think he will run into some big shots from Inoue. Now obviously Inoue will be coming up from super bantamweight. Will he carry his power with him? Well, so far he's carried his power through every division he's moved through, from light flyweight up to super bantamweight. He's carried that devastating power. So there's nothing really to suggest that he wouldn't carry that power up to the featherweight division. But would it be a step too far, a division too far? I mean, he's 31, 32 now, Inoue. So, he's not a young kid anymore. So we'll see. But if that fight does happen, I would be picking Inoue to win that one. Anyway, back to this fight. Doheny's corner pulled him out after the 10th round, just before the 11th round started, which I thought was absolutely fair. Doheny was very brave, but he took far too much punishment in there. From like the 4th round onwards, it was all Nick Ball. His right eye, Doheny's right eye was completely closed, very bruised. He had a lot of bruises and abrasions all over his face. His jaw was swelling up, which suggests there might be a break there. And yeah, it was the right thing. You know, what was the point? What was the point in letting that go on for another couple of rounds? He was getting a beating in there. And again, you don't want to see guys get hurt. You don't want to see guys potentially die in the ring, you know, or because of the fight. You know, we've seen that too many times throughout the history of boxing. It's a dangerous sport as it is, and yeah, he wasn't anywhere close to winning. It's not like it was a close fight or anything. So I agreed with Doheny's corner to pull him out. Quite where Doheny goes from here, I'm not entirely sure, because you know he's 38 now. He's former world champion. I believe he was IBF super bantamweight champion. Obviously, in his last fight, he challenged Inoue for the undisputed super bantamweight title, and he got stopped in that one with, you know, something wrong with his back. Obviously, he's been stopped quite badly here. He took a lot of punishment, so I don't think I probably think, I'm not suggesting he has to retire. I don't like to tell people to retire. It's their life, it's their body, you know, it's their income, it's their livelihood. But I personally don't see much point in him carrying on apart from the money, because he's unlikely to get another shot at a title anytime soon. But you know, good win for Nick Ball. I would say they seem to be pushing for the Inoue fight. Apparently, Turki Al Sheikh seems to want that. And of course, what Turkey wants, Turkey seems to get most of the time. Yeah, I've got my opinions on that. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to Al Sheikh for what he's done. He's put on these fights. Excuse me for rubbing my nose all the time. It's really itchy this morning. Yeah, I'm appreciative. He put the Fury Usyk fight on, which would never have happened without that big bag of money coming from the Saudis. You know, we know that. We know that as a fact. Tyson Fury would not have gone near. Sorry, my dog's just walked over my foot and made me jump. Yeah, he would not have gone near Alexander Usyk unless there was a big pile of money. Obviously, we probably wouldn't have got the two light heavyweight unification fights we've had. Bivol and Beterbiev, we wouldn't have seen those. So he's done a good thing, and he's putting on these big cards, which we appreciate. But I just don't like the way he kind of seems to think that he's the be-all and end-all of the sport. You know, yes, he's got a big bag of money. Yes, he's got a lot of influence. But yeah, well, that's a story for another time. I don't really want to get into it now. But so yeah, that was it. Nick Ball retains his WBA championship, and the featherweight division would be quite entertaining. I'd quite like to see if the Inoue fight doesn't come off. Maybe Nick Ball going for a unification against Stephen Fulton. You know, that would be an entertaining fight. I would pick Fulton to win that one personally, but who knows? You don't know. You know, with Nick Ball's style, Nick Ball is that relentless, overwhelming. He's got a hell of a gas tank on him, as the Americans would say. You know, he's so much energy. He can fight like that for 12 rounds, and we've seen him do it. You know, fantastic. I think he's a fantastically entertaining fighter, and I always look forward to seeing him fight. So, yeah, good win for Doheny. So, like I say, a bit of the naughties with the kicking. You know, he's got to watch that sort of thing, losing your temper like that. Yes, I know he was being held in a headlock, but you can't react like that. You know, that's crazy. And he's lucky he didn't get thrown out, because some referees would have thrown him out for that. They really would. I'm glad it didn't happen. I don't particularly want to see disqualifications unless it's something absolutely horrendous, like ear biting, for example, or repeated low blows. I mean, fair enough, it gets to that stage, but it was a stupid little frustration, little pity-pat kick that did nothing. But of course, Doheny sold it like it did. So, whatever, it is what it is. Okay, folks, take care. I hope you're all well, and I wish you a good, happy, healthy week. And we'll be back to speak next time. Take care, folks. Thanks ever so much.